2020 was just such a busy year, you know, and I'm grateful for it. And they said 2021 it was still going to be a good market, but that it would slow down. And I just haven't slowed down.
And I would imagine most of it's refis. Is that right?
Most of my stuff is new purchase. I do a
Really?
lot of new purchase business, yeah. And I work with a lot of investors and do a lot of like for people that live out of state and buy Indiana investment properties.
Okay.
So I have a lot of those that I'm dealing with all the time too. So no, some loan officers are kind of heavy refi. I'm more heavy purchase business.
Okay. What kind of rates are you getting right now for out-of-state investors?
We're below 4 still, which is one of the reasons a lot of them use me, because we're below 4 and we don't have a minimum loan amount.
Okay.
So a lot of times when they're buying smaller amounts, nobody else will touch them. You know, when it's below that 70, 80, whatever, we don't have a minimum.
Do you?
Yeah, if you wanted to cash out, are they in your name or in an LLC?
Probably an LLC.
LLC is going to be a problem too, because I'm not on the commercial side. So with our stuff, it's flat out in your name. So if you have any that are in your name that you've owned for 12 months, then we can do those up to 75% loan to value.
Can I just quick claim them over?
They've got to be quick claimed over into your name for 12 months.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what's the commercial side look like then? Can I get loans through Centia? Does Centia have a commercial side?
Centia does have a commercial side, but not the deals and stuff like this. Centia commercial side really won't touch anything under $1 million.
But do they have a commercial product then? I mean, a portfolio product?
No, not for something like this.
Okay. All right.
They're dealing with actual like large businesses and stuff. They don't really deal in residential.
Okay. What do you see happening with foreclosures over the next 1, 2, 3 years? Are they?
You know, I don't think that they're going to hit like some people have said they would. If you talk to most of, like a lot of investors and stuff out there are hoping that they'll hit, which is kind of makes my stomach turn a little bit because I don't want anybody to lose their house.
I agree. I mean? No, I totally agree.
But I don't think it's going to hit the way people are saying. You know, before when we had this big increase in values, they were basically, if you fog a mirror, you could get a loan. There's a lot more restrictions in place now before somebody's been able to get a loan on one of these houses.
So you're comparing.
Insurers, I don't think the risk level is as high. The other thing is in Indiana, like our prices are increasing.
Yeah.
But when you look at us compared to the rest of the country, we're just starting to catch up. It's not like all of a sudden we're becoming inflated. We have just been so undervalued compared to the rest of the country that, I mean, there was some point where we were going to have to start going up.
Yeah, I agree.
And I just think that's what's happening.
Yeah, I would agree in the sense. So I thought that there was a ban on foreclosures actually, but it's just there was a forbearance situation, right?
Correct.
So
Correct, yes.
Just so I understand forbearance, could you just explain that to me real quick?
Well, and that's one of the things that when a lot of people were coming to me saying, you know, hey, they're saying I don't have to pay my mortgage payment for 3 months. Should I do this? I was telling them absolutely not. Because what happens is, say your mortgage payment is $1,000 and they're going to give it a forbearance for 3 months. Okay, well then in month 4, you owe $4,000. And people didn't realize that. So pretty soon after they put that out, they tightened the regulations so that people would have to understand, hey, this is what's actually happening, and it forced the mortgage companies to give them other alternatives other than, hey, pay $4,000 right now, if that makes sense.
So these people that potentially have forbeared them until 2022, in the original plan, they could owe 18 months of mortgage payments.
I don't know have you heard of any place that was doing it for that long? Because I don't know of any place that was letting them put them in forbearance for that long. Well,
I just understand that forbearance has been pushed out to 2022.
And they could apply for it. But one, individual's forbearance isn't for like 12 months, if that makes sense.
Okay, so they need to have a new job ready to pay within 3 months. Otherwise, they still would face foreclosure.
Correct. They could, or they put in guidelines now where the mortgage company has to give them additional payback options, like splitting it over an amount of time or something like that.
So basically refinancing their mortgage.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of digging a deeper hole, maybe.
Yes. For some people, it may be, I would say hopefully for a lot of people that won't be the case because people can go back to work, but it seems like even though things are opening back up, a lot of people aren't wanting to go back to work.
Right.
Yeah,
I talked to a lady. I talked to a lady the other day that said, if they make me come back, I'm going to quit. I was like, and get what? And what are you going to do? Like, I didn't say that. I was like, yeah, some people like going to the office a few days a week for the social aspect. Like, I was just trying to soften it, but,
Yeah, I mean, I totally 100% understand the need for all of the additional resources put into unemployment when everything was shut down and there wasn't an option for people to work. But now at this point, I feel like that needs to be curbed a little bit, or else, there's a lot of people that would rather just sit at home and make more money than what they would make and get up and go to work.
And you can't rack up debt as a country and not add value, which is what that is.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Like, yeah.
There was a need for it when it was there, but that need is, as things are opening up, that need is diminishing.
Yeah.
So you have to give people some sort of an incentive to go back out and work. And, I wish that all people were the type of people that said, I have enough pride in myself that I'm not going to sit and collect money for nothing. I'm going to go be of value. But unfortunately, not everybody has that mentality. No,
I agree. The government is printing a ton of money. I actually read a while back that Janet Yellen, as well as the head of the Fed, basically said they would be happy for the national debt to be double its current size with the current economy at this size. How do you feel about that comment?
That is insane.
Yeah, right?
That's nuts.
So when I heard that, I called my dad and they said, well, I guess every 6 months they're going to make up another $2 trillion, write another $2 trillion check.
There are things like this that makes me think that there are so many other countries I may go live in.
Now, that said, if they spent $10 trillion at basically 0% interest and they spent it all on bridges, roads, internet, infrastructure, stuff that really would last for 100 years.
Right.
I would be okay with that. However, we're at $25 trillion and we're only just kind of talking about doing that still.
Yeah, exactly. No, yeah. I mean, not only build things that are going to, last forever so you're not continuously re-spending that money, but also the amount of jobs that those things would provide.
Exactly.
It makes sense all the way around, but it's not, yeah.
And
I don't have so much of an issue, kind of like you, as the money being spent. It's the way that we're spending it that's scary.
Yeah. So what's your summary of all this for 2021, 2022 then? Careful optimism or terrified or?
I am an optimistic person by nature, so I am trying to be cautiously optimistic.
Oh, I like that. But, cautiously optimistic.
Yeah, but my biggest fear is, all of these companies were in so much trouble when COVID happened and everything got shut down. And now I know so many people who have companies that are opening back up and still can't open full time because they can't find workers. I think a big changing point is we've got to figure out a way to get people to go back to work, because if they don't, I think our economy is going to be in trouble.
Yep. And that actually brings back spending money on education. That's a very touchy.
That's my big one when you were talking about
roads
and stuff. That's my big one. The amount of money that we spend on criminal programs versus the amount of money that we spend on educational programs is mind-blowing to me.
It's mind-blowing to me, too.
A complete flip-flop.
Yeah, we should be spending per person more than any other country, and we're not even close.
No. If we spend, I was watching something the other day, 5 times on, putting people in jail as we do giving them an education. And if you flip that number, we may not need all the jails that we have.
Yeah. Yep. But
yeah, it's scary to me. Hopefully, I don't know. Something's got to change.
Yeah.
I think giving people some self-worth and some value in themselves again and getting back to work may be a good first step.
That self-worth thing is so true. As much as we don't want to get out of bed some days, when you do a good day's work, you do feel better about yourself.
Yes, you do.
Sometimes it sucks, and sometimes you had to deal with shitty people, but all in all, it's you have. To me, I have more control.
Absolutely.
Even though I'm such a small little cog in such a massive universe.
Yeah. If you just sit and do nothing, then everybody else determines your fate.
Yeah. That's got to be a tough position.
Yes.
Cool.
Well, it has been very nice talking to you. I'm going to get back to work, but if you think of anything else or need me at all or I can be of service, please feel free to give me a call back.
All right. Thank you so much.